Okay, this video is going to be called I don't recommend antidepressants. It's very much so that I can only speak from my own experience of how these drugs affected me. But overall, I would say there was a honeymoon period where it actually was very much positive. It was like very much, finally I feel good. And I think this is the case with a lot of people's experiences and these tablets, that it feels good in the beginning, or maybe it feels hard in the beginning, then it has a period of that it's good, that everything feels like it's rolling on, you have more energy, you feel more motivated, you're more resilient. But then as the medicine starts to wear off, you kind of become more depressed again, and maybe even more depressed than you were previously in some ways. Maybe you have less anxiety depending on what kind of antidepressant it is, but you'll be similarly or more depressed. And I've also taken antipsychotics because I'm a schizophrenic. That's not a joke, I am. And antipsychotics, I think, for a normal person is worse than antidepressants, but for a person that's actually suffering through psychosis or schizophrenia or mania or whatever, I think antipsychotics aren't necessarily so bad. But I think antidepressants may be more okay for a regular person, but I think for most people who, because it's weird, because it's supposed to be like a thing that brings your mood up, and in a sense it is. In a sense you feel kind of content with things, you don't feel very, but it kind of limits your motivation in a sense. You don't feel, especially the SSRIs, I don't know about I think the NDRIs and the what is it called? SNRIs. That might be a bit different, but I haven't really tried them to any large extent. So, I think those aren't necessarily so good if you have mania or psychosis. But the antidepressants, the regular ones like Prozac and Zoloft and all that, it's very much like a kind of numbing of the soul that goes on. Not that you have a bad soul if you take these medications, that's not what I'm saying, but it's like, because you don't go down in like this, you can go down, but you don't go down in the same way, like in a natural way. You don't go up either. You don't feel that extra bit of joy when you're experiencing something fine, or things are going your way. There's a numbness to it. That's very specific. And you might say, well, the antipsychotics have that as well. Well, that's true. But if you're schizophrenic, you really need some numbness, because you are, making conclusions that aren't necessarily to your benefit. And, you have to do something. But an antidepressant, I don't recommend it. I mean, I can't speak for everyone. Maybe there's schizophrenics who use antidepressants who feel fine. Or maybe they don't mind being so numb. And maybe their depths of feeling bad are so strong that they need something to get them up again. But like I said, I have often felt that it seems like it works at first, and then it sort of tailors off, and then it doesn't work anymore. So yeah, that's my piece on that.